Hi, we're going to talk today about the scientific method. The scientific method is a way to ask and answer scientific questions by making observations and doing experiments. The first step of the scientific method is to ask a question. For example, does an ice cube melt faster in cold water or in hot water? Then you would do some background research, look up some information on the web, and see what you think is a good hypothesis. A hypothesis is just a statement of the question that you have, a formal statement of the question. So, does the water temperature affect how fast an ice cube melts is a good hypothesis. Then you would look at ways to test your hypothesis by doing an experiment. So a good way would be to have perhaps two glasses uh, with the same amount of water, one with cold water and one with hot water. You would have one ice cube the same size, and you would put one ice cube first in the cold water and perhaps an ice cube in the warm water. And you would measure the amount of time that it took for that ice cube to melt. That would be the experiment. Once you have the results of your experiment, you would look at your data. You would see what information you had, and you would draw a conclusion, which is look at the question you posed and say, did the ice cube, what happened? Was it faster in the cold water or in the hot water? Once you have all your conclusions, you write up your results. And in your results, you would say, I did this, I did that, I expected this to happen, and this is what happened. And in your conclusion, you would communicate your results. If, for some reason, your results didn't match your hypothesis, you would state that. And if you think that maybe there was a reason why, because you had more hot water than cold water, if you think there was a reason why, you explain that in your results. Anything that you think might have affected your results. So one good way to visualize the scientific method, because sometimes it's easier when you have a visual image of how the method works, you can look at something like this, for example, where in this image it says, ask your question. Does an ice cube melt faster in hot water or cold water? That would be step one. Here they don't have to do the research. In some of them they do have research. Some just say, state your hypothesis. I think an ice cube will melt faster in hot water. Then you conduct your experiment, you analyze your results, and you draw your conclusions and you explain anything that you think might have caused your results not to come out the way you expected. So the scientific method, and here's another image. In this image, they do have that step where you do the background search. The scientific method is very useful. It works for any situation where you have a question about something that you want to find out about, and it keeps you from having a preconceived idea. You can only write about and make conclusions about your actual measured results. And so the scientific method is a consistent way to perform an experiment and be able to get valid results.